What's up, y'all? I am back for part two of my Django review. Unfortunately, I wanted to do it like right after, but I just couldn't. And like my video, like part one took literally it didn't upload until like 1 in the morning. I was just tired at that point. So I figured I would just do this part in the morning. I am gonna continue on with my Django review. We are I left off where um Broomhilda just went up to Dr. Schultz's room, so we'll continue from there. And still later today, like probably like the normal time I do videos, I will be doing a video about review about the replacement. So I'm actually gonna probably watch that in like an hour. So I'm gonna try to get this done. So Django, so we now jump to the dinner scene now, where Candy and Schultz are like talking about like buying the Mandingos, and this scene is really fun. Like the dynamic between everybody, and you get this really funny line from Samuel Jackson because Schultz was talking about like making the Mandingo guy like the Black Hercules. And Samuel Jackson's like more like Niggalese. I died. Like he has so many good funny lines in this movie. Steven starts being suspicious of Broomhilda because she keeps like giving little looks to Django. He confronts her and asks her, "Do you know him?" She plays it off like she doesn't. He kind of says, "Okay," but then kind of almost coerces Candy to take off her like whatever dress she's wearing to show her whip marks. And you can clearly look on Django's face like the rage, and Steven realizes it. Basically tells her, "No, you're gonna stay here." Then before Schultz is about to ask Candy if he's willing to sell Broomhilda, Steven basically tells him to meet him in the big room, where Steven basically tells him that you've been conned and that they know each other. And this scene was really the dynamic between Steven and Candy is really good. You know, yeah, they're bad guys, but it's really good. Like honestly, just in general, like you have Django and Schultz who had a great chemistry, and I think so did Candy and Steven. It's just such a great movie. So Candy comes back out. This is where we get, my opinion, one of Leo's best acting moments when he goes crazy, talks about old Ben, who's an old slave. Basically alludes to, he threatens to kill Broomhilda with a hammer, and basically says you got to buy her for $12,000. And yeah, that scene when he goes off, he actually he genuinely cut himself. That scene, like he actually cut himself, and the fact he just kept rolling with it, it just is that shows how good of an actor he is, and just all around the just performance, him like going off was so good. So Schultz agrees, then signs the check. But to lay it on thicker that he won, Calvin insists that Schultz shake his hand. Schultz, sorry, refuses, and Candy's like, you can't leave, and she's still technically my property, even with all the the sign shit. This is where we get Schultz death because he shoots Calvin, and then he gets shot by um one of Calvin's bodyguards. Which we'll talk about this really quick. I'm not a big fan of how they killed Schultz. I said this in the other video, and I'm gonna go into it now. I don't like how they did it. I think it's fine that his character died because it makes sense. His character almost has to die. Like, just in general, like a mentor type character usually has to die. I don't have a problem with that. It's how he dies. Like, because you have that scene before where him and Django, this is before they got to Candyland. You know, Schultz was telling Django, "You might get us killed. You can get us killed," and then he pulls this move. Like what? Like really? Okay, like I get it. You needed to kill Schultz, but they could have done it a different way. It just felt like you made that literally could have easily all Django could have just got Brunhilde could have just got killed right there. I don't know. It just I think they could have executed it a bit better. It just felt a bit clunky. So if this is my only real gripe with the movie is how they killed Schultz. So then we get this giant shootout where Calvin's lawyer and a bunch of like uh, Calvin's men get killed. We get this giant shootout. Tupac starts playing, and I can understand the criticism. Like this is a movie that's supposed to be about like that during the the slavery era in 1800s. There wouldn't be rap, but it's for one scene, and it's just like to set the scene. It doesn't bother me. So Django, is fighting everybody until Billy, who's that's Walton Goggins' character, has a gun to Brunhilde, and Steven basically says, Django, you better surrender, or they're gonna kill Brunhilde. Django surrenders. Then the next morning, Billy tries to castrate Django, but Steven walks in and tells him, no, we're not doing that. And Miss Laura sends him to LaQuint Mining Company. Steven is actually a really good. He's arguably, some have said he's like the actual villain in the movie, and I can get that, especially in this scene where he's just like taunting Django, and it's like this like because I watched like another movie I watched yesterday was The Crow, where it's one of those movies where you want the bad guy to get theirs. This is another movie like that. You just can't wait till the bad guys get you waiting for Steven to get his. So on the way to the mining company, Django convinces the people taking him there, which one of them is Quentin Tarantino. I love Tarantino cameos in his own movies. They convince him that there's a group of thieves back at Candyland. Um, and he basically admits he's a bounty hunter. Um, and he basically promises to escort them, so they all agree. They let him out, and then Django just kills them all. It blows up Quentin Tarantino. It's so fucking great. And then Django rides off to kills those guys at Candyland. Gives kind of like a one final goodbye to Schultz, which is kind of nice because his body was still there, and then gets Broomhilda, then makes it to Candyland before everyone else who was at Calvin's funeral. They come back. Django kills Billy by shooting him in the nuts. Pretty brutal. And and then like I mentioned the humor in this movie because like Miss Laura's death is fucking funny. Like he tells like a slave like tell Miss Laura goodbye. She says bye Miss Laura. He just fucking shoots her. It fucking kills me every time. And then the back and forth between Samuel Jackson and Django is so good. It's like Steven's like I count 6 shots, nigga. Django's like I count 2 guns, nigga. It's so like God, it was such a great back and forth. Django shoots him in the knees or in the kneecap, and basically Steven's like talking a bunch of shit while Django basically has like the house rigged to explode with dynamite, blows up Candyland basically, and then walks off in the not the sunset because it's still nighttime, but rides off with Broomhilda. I all around love this fucking movie. This movie is such a ride, and I'm not surprised. I had to probably split it into 2 parts because, man, there's so much to just talk about with this movie, and the performances, and like I mentioned, the VIP is definitely Leonardo DiCaprio. The fact he never played a role like this, and he just killed it. He should have fucking got an Oscar for this movie. I mean, just in general, the fact it took him so long to get an Oscar, but definitely for this movie, that table scene is oh my god. That's probably, I think another video one day I would do is ranking Tarantino scenes or like just my favorite Tarantino scenes in like any movie he's done. This would be up there. Like the fact that DiCaprio kept going even with like the cut on his hand, it just made the scene that much better because like when he rubbed blood against Brumhilde, it was like, oh, you can't wait till you get yours. Just in general, so you got great bad guys. Samuel Jackson as Steven is fucking great. Yeah, he's an asshole, but he has some funny fucking lines. Like when he first see him, the fucking who's that nigga on the horse had me dying. I died the first time. But he's just an all around great bad guy. And almost like he's almost more conniving than fucking Calvin. And Christoph Waltz, I mean, what more can I say about him? I mean, he was awesome in Inglourious Basterds last week. Great in this movie. Plays like the polar opposite. The action scenes are great. I can understand some of the criticisms that they're a little over the top, but I just look at it like just Tarantino. That's one of those things I feel like some people are just gonna have to deal with. Even like Kill Bill, both versions, both movies had like over the top action. Just and I get it. Like someone mentioned that you probably can't like the scene where Django gets a triple headshot with you probably couldn't get it with a gun like that, but it is what it is. But just so many great performances. The soundtrack is great. It's not just your typical slave movie. It's actually more of a western. I'd almost say slavery is like a 1% aspect about this movie, and that's what makes it so good. And I really wish I saw this in theaters. I should have seen this in theaters, but you know, but just an all around great film. Like I said, I gave it a 9.8 out of 9.8. Basically, this is super close to being a 10. I just think Schultz's death they could have executed a bit better. But besides that, all around great film. It's perfectly paced, even though it's almost 3 hours. It doesn't feel boring. It doesn't feel like 3 hours, basically. So I definitely recommend it. If even if you're a person who you're like me who doesn't fuck with slave movies, you almost just like overlook the slavery aspect and just look at it as a great western buddy film with like a buddy film because you like the aspect of Schultz and Django almost feels like a buddy film a bit, just obviously darker toned and more serious themes, but all around great film. So um, I'm happy we finally get to talk about it on video. Um, my like I said, later today I will be reviewing The Replacements, which I have not watched in a while, but Keanu Reeves and Gene Hackman are so good in it, so it's gonna be fun to review that one again, to watch it again too. So I'll be reviewing that one a little bit later, today, like probably like my normal time I do videos. So either like four in the afternoon, or latest will be like probably like nighttime. So, but other than that, watch Django, and yeah, I'm gonna cheers to this movie and peace out. But other than that, tomorrow I will be reviewing New Police Story. So yeah, I will be continuing on with those movies. It's just I couldn't get to it Monday. But yeah, guys, watch Django, and yeah. Other than that, like normal, fuck Warner Brothers, fuck Disney, fuck LeBron. I'm gonna add a new person to my list. Fuck Elvira. Fuck Seth Rogen. Sorry, Joe Rogan. Fuck Kevin Smith. Sorry, my fucking mind is just going blank. Fuck Kevin Smith, and fuck the Biden administration. I'll talk to y'all a little bit later today. Peace.